Hello and welcome to SAS Minds. I'm Angelica Mari. Today I'm delighted to be joined by Patrick Xhonneux, who's Senior Vice President Global Marketing at SAS. Today our chat will be about the Brazilian leg of SAS Innovate on Tour, SAS Global Vision on AI, and also what that means for marketers. Welcome, Patrick. Lovely to have you here, and welcome to Brazil.
Very happy. My first time in Brazil, first time in Latin America, so I love that. Obviously, I have a great team here, so I know a lot, but I really enjoy.
Excellent.
Yes.
And let's start by setting the scene a little. So it's interesting that you've been globetrotting with SAS Innovate on Tour, and you've been promoting that vision in various cities around the world, and you are conveying a vision that to me seems pretty central to the future of tech. Mm-hmm. So with that in mind, given this is the reason for your visit in Brazil, would you mind just detailing SAS vision on AI and how that's being received in various countries, including Brazil?
Yeah, so, that's the 13th stop we do for SAS Innovate. We're going to be later in Mexico as well. So 13th stop where we present the SAS vision around AI and generative AI. I mean, everybody speaks about that. And I think that what we want to show is that SAS is doubling down on AI because we see the benefit for businesses, but also for consumers of these businesses. And so we come with a vision which is articulated around 3 pillars. And there is really the way we can use this technology that SAS has to be builders of AI. And that's using the SAS technology platform, which is called SAS Via. But then there are also businesses who want to be able to use solutions that are pre-built to go faster in regulatory compliance and so on. And we're going to announce models. Models, it's actually the way you can be subscriber of an AI model to go faster, implement that in your business process. So we are building this event around these 3 categories: builders of AI, user of AI solutions, and subscribers of AI model, and around 3 keywords, which is productivity, performance, and trust. And trust is resonating all over the world. When you were asking me how does it resonate, everybody wants to use AI, but how can we be trustworthy? How can we be fair? How can we avoid biases and so on?
And these are global themes, right?
Oh, very global. So that resonates very well. We see that in the number of attendees in our events, so that's really good. And we see the questions coming. Everybody is eager to use AI or Gen AI, sometimes a little bit afraid. And we want to show that when you have the technology that helps you to understand what models you're creating, what are the risks for biases, then you can give the confidence to the companies using AI that they're going to provide services and products to their consumers that are fair, transparent, and explainable. And that's trustworthy AI.
We're going to delve down on each of these topics in a moment. But before, I like to touch on generative AI a little. When we talk about that, we immediately think about conversational models, right? In this context, SAS has a very significant educational role to play. So with that in mind, can you detail for us what SAS is doing in that front?
I mean, you're so right. I mean, people know Gen AI because when they think Gen AI, generative AI, they think ChatGPT, conversational AI.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's thanks to ChatGPT that everybody's speaking about AI. Now, SAS is 48 years in advanced analytics and in AI, although it was not completely called like that. So we want to promote AI in the broader sense. Gen AI is a part of AI. Right? Mm-hmm. So large language models are very important, but there is computer vision, there is optimization, there is other types of models. And we want to make sure people are not just thinking that Gen AI is going to solve all of the issues. And the beauty of it is that with 48 years of experience, we have a lot of customers showing what they do in advanced analytics and today with AI. Mm-hmm. And so that's the reason of having events like this. It's not just us speaking. People want to hear, okay, that other industry, maybe I can apply that use case to my industry. If I am in the financial service industry and I see how I can mitigate risk or detect fraud, that's great. But you know what? In the retail or in the manufacturing space or in the oil, I have the same potential issues and I can use the same kind of analytics to solve my issues. So SAS sees, as with that experience, a great educational role to the market with our customers and also with universities and academics. And we are announcing actually new solutions and products that are dedicated for people who program in different languages as SAS to make sure that we make AI available for these people as well.
Right. The impact of generative AI is undeniable, as you just mentioned. But among all the functions in a business that use it the most, marketing is right up the top, and that's right up your street. I'd like you to comment a little bit on what are the actual routes that marketers should take within generative AI to do their job more efficiently.
I am going to tell you something that maybe you will be surprised, but I was in a CMO forum 3 days ago with people from all over the world. And we realized that a lot of marketing CMOs, the chief marketing officers, speak about Gen AI, say that their team are using, but it's still very much testing, not necessarily production. And so sometimes, I mean, we are marketing. We like to say that we are the best, and we do that.
Always with your ear on the ground.
But when you dive, sometimes you see, oh, okay, they're just testing. For audience segmentation, Gen AI can help. For content production, Gen AI can help. Okay, fine. Is it production, or is it going to influence the creativity of the marketeers and so on? So yes, there is a lot of efficiencies to win with Gen AI, but you need to create the space as leaders to make sure that your people can test, can use Gen AI, can increase their skills, and then only at that time you will see also the productivity increase thanks to the use of Gen AI. And last one, I think that we as leaders also need to use Gen AI. Because it's easy to say, hey, can you please use Gen AI? I mean, we need to use, and there are some productivity. Yeah, it's leading by example. And so I'm investing a lot of time to learn, and I'm encouraging my team to learn and make sure that they get comfortable with AI. And for that, you need curiosity.
How has your learning journey been personally?
I was lucky that I did my major, although I look very young, it's a long time ago. And I did my major in operations research. And operations research means neural networks and Q simulation and that kind of stuff. So I discussed neural networks before we could make them run on a computer, because we didn't have the computer power and the chips at the time. So I know the technology behind. I think that my learning journey now is, so I've never been afraid, but some people have been afraid sometimes of technology, but I really love it. It makes me so curious. I'm eager to see, okay, what can I do more? And I want to use it to be more efficient, which is doing things right, but I want to see it to be more effective, which is doing the right things. And so I think that Gen AI is going to help me personally to make time to apply more creativity or more time to think through strategies that are going to help my customers, my stakeholders inside the company to be more effective and more efficient. So I am testing. I love testing. From the single, like every day, ChatGPT, does it work? Does it answer my questions? But then from a business B2B perspective as well, how do we use these tools in a context that really provide value for the company?
That makes total sense. I'll pick on that point of effectiveness, doing the right thing, and just making up time to do what actually matters. To touch on the point of hyper-personalization, which is a mantra in marketing, right? You can promote that with generative AI, but the flip side of that is that it can sort of erode trust and the human touch that is so important for B2B relationships. So what is your take on that? And what is SAS doing to make sure that that balance is there?
Yeah, you're so right. I think that's, we are, as consumer, I am already evolving my behavior. When I receive an email, which is not personalized or too much personalized, too much automated, I lose credibility. Right, so is it everybody getting this? Are you going to get the same message than me, but with the service that... And so content remains at the center. It needs to be relevant. It needs to be informing or proposing me something I need. I think that where we invest with SAS is to promote tools that allow hyper-personalization through our CI tool, but with what we call trustworthy AI, which is really making sure that we take data that matter and we inform the marketeer using SAS tools, CI360, to build campaigns, hyper-personalization campaign and so on, in a way that they understand if the model has been biased, contains bias, or whether it's representative sample and everything. So we try to bring the tools so that GenAI is an assistant to the creativity of the marketeer. GenAI is not going to replace the creativity of the marketeer. GenAI is going to augment. I'm convinced by that. It's really we want to augment the possibility and the creativity, the art of marketing by the marketeer by having the right tools.
But the pressure on the marketeer to get more campaigns out on the road is not gonna decrease, right?
No, but I think the market is going to answer by saying, more campaigns is not always the solution. Better campaigns,
so there's
more creative campaigns.
There's another conversation to be had before that, right?
I agree. I fully agree with you. So I think that we're going to see how the market evolves as well. We are all consumers. We're getting these services and products. What do we want to get in terms of information? And so we are preparing, we're delivering the tools that allow to adapt to what the market is going to ask in terms of content relevancy, number of campaigns, hyper-personalization, segmentation in a way that makes sense, working omni-channel. With the social media and all this stuff. So that's really what we try to do.
Excellent. Having the tools is super important, but so is having the skills to use them, right?
Yes.
And SAS has got a new research out on generative AI, which I recommend that you check it out, that brings the issue of knowledge, of skills. So now back to the subject of marketeers. How can marketeers keep their skills up to date without feeling overwhelmed or even constrained?
I think you're completely right. It's a challenge, right? And I think it's up to us, leadership, to make sure that we create space, time in the agenda of people to get the possibility to learn. I think that what I'm asking to my teams, for example, is be curious. Don't be afraid, be curious. Test, adapt, adopt new tools, if that helps you. Let's have a discussion. So curiosity is not really a technical skill, it's a soft skill. We need to get out of our comfort zone as well. And I think marketeers are really good to do that because they need to adapt to the market trends, right? They need to come with new ideas. So usually marketeers, they like change, they like to adopt new things. But it's different here because it's technology and we are not always been educated in that technology. So we need to make a little bit more time and more effort to learn. And so to give you a concrete example, SAS, we have dedicated specific webcast, in-person training. Every Friday we have now a My Focus Friday, 2 hours every Friday block, no meeting. You can do whatever you want, but we point also people to available training on LinkedIn or any other platform that makes sense for people to learn and to feel comfortable in using the tools.
Right. That's really, really helpful. You need to guide people somehow, right? Still on that point of generative AI, something that is inevitable in any conversation on that subject is the themes of job displacement.
What about my job?
What about my job? Technology is going to have my job for lunch, and also job job displacement crops up. That is always the case. What is your take on that?
I really think that AI is not coming for our jobs, but marketeers with a knowledge of AI are coming for our jobs. So we need to skill ourselves to make sure that we are not being left with no skill. So that's the reason we invest so much in reskilling or upskilling ourselves. So I love science fiction, but I know enough about, I know enough. It's not true what I'm going to say. We learn every day, but what I see today, it's really helping you as an assistant to be more productive, to be more effective, to be more efficient. But the creativity, the art of marketing, the knowledge that you have on your market and everything, you can accelerate what you do it better, free up time to develop new skills, more strategic skills. And AI is not going to replace that. That's what I think. Let's see what the future brings, but I'm very optimistic.
Sure. So would it be right to say that technology itself is not the threat? The threat would be perhaps someone who can use technology better than you.
I love where you put it. Can I just record that and make sure I can use that? Because it's exactly what I wanted to say, but you nailed it.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So in terms of how marketers use generative AI,
Yes.
among the risks, there's the risk of bias. So how can professionals in marketing ensure that they are not incurring in certain biases, especially when they target global, diverse B2B audiences?
Yes, so there are really, as part of the tools, there are tools, it's called model card at SAS, and it allows you to, it gives you a visual indication about the potential for biases in the model that you're using for audience segmentation, for campaign creation, and so on. So it's really easy to say, hey, you know what, your sample might not be representative. You may have issues with that kind of community, or the way your campaign is articulated might not be fully fair and transparent. So we provide these tools, part of our solution suite, and we drink our own champagne at SAS, right? We use our own tools, the one we promote on the market, otherwise it wouldn't be fair. And that really helps. So that's on the tool side. The other thing, obviously, and that is probably more important, is making sure that we work hand in hand with legal department, that we should be compliant to regulation locally or internationally. And you know that there are regulations very different still are being adopted in the EU, in the US, in Latin as well. Everybody's speaking about how do we make sure we create a safe space from a legal perspective for the usage of AI to protect our citizens. And so without killing innovation. So it's what do you allow and what you don't want to allow. So legal, working with legal inside the company to have the guidelines about how we use AI and the model, it's also important. And then for me, the training part. So it's really educating people about the guidelines from legal, the usage of the tools, what is available to help them to avoid biases. So it's the tools, legal, and education of people that is going to give the full answer to avoid that we have biases, for example.
Now, Patrick, I'd like to end our conversation on a more philosophical note, if I may. So you touched on the art of marketing in one of your answers. So do you believe there will still be room for that art as AI advances? And based on your response, what would be your single takeaway for marketing professionals watching this? So what should professionals think when they consider how to reskill themselves for this era we're living in?
So I think there will be place for more art and creativity thanks to the use of AI. But instead of having to develop the first draft of the communication or the first draft campaign, we're going to build upon what the Gen AI is going to give us and apply our own creativity to it. So I think we will add more art. And the single takeaway, for me, we cannot put the responsibility on the marketing person in a company to try to solve all the issues with Gen AI. I think it's our responsibility. We can only ask them one thing, and that is my single thing. Be curious. Get out of your comfort zone, because there's so many things you can learn. And if you have a boss who is not giving you, or you work for a company, giving you the safe space to test Gen AI or to have time to reskill yourself, well, maybe you need to change company or you need to find a place where you can experiment and grow your own skills for the benefit of your company and for the benefit of the customers that that company is serving. So
that's great advice, and I can think of no other way to end this conversation.
Okay.
Lots of great insights to think about. Thank you so much,
Thank
Patrick,
you, really
for sharing your insights.
Thank you.
I'm Angelica Mari. This is SAS Minds. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.